Boston Celtics lose their second in a row to the Atlanta Hawks. The defense really let them down. Late game stuff again. And they're just not looking at these the same way you are. I'm going to explain right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Thanks to Blockbuster Brand, it's holiday season. Drop Drew in the mix. And 3 from KP, no, we not on the Knicks. Flushing competition like Al on Giannis. Juice and Big Juice, still Bean Town's finest. Banner 18 going up in the rafters. Watch the C's game in Locked On after. Karalis on the breakdown. Clutch like a tip from D. White on the breakdown. John on the mic, documenting domination. Matter pen a back bay, it's all C's nation. Rain and J's, how we started, raising business, how we finish. Locked On Celtics pod, home of the winners. Peace.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day, and I got you covered every single day, Monday through Friday, with a free, fresh podcast that's dropped directly to your device. So make sure you're subscribed, however you want to listen, whenever you want to listen. Watch the show on YouTube. Get into that comment section. Let me know what you think. For those who are new to the show, I'm John Karalis, used to play a long time ago. Now I'm covering the Celtics for Boston Sports Journal. And today I'm covering a loss in overtime to the Atlanta Hawks, 123-122. Ugh. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more at FanDuel. New customers, you get $200 in bonus bets if you win a $5 bet. Any winning $5 bet, you get $200. So go win at FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. Now I'm podcasting for those of you watching on YouTube. Still in my hotel room here in New Orleans. I came to New Orleans ahead of the team just to scout out. You know, I think it was very important for me to scout New Orleans to make sure the guys knew exactly where to go. And I thought a couple extra days here in New Orleans to pick out the right restaurants, the right bars. That was responsible journalism to go check that stuff out. But I didn't like my hostage wall that I had behind me. So I'm doing this virtual background that's not the green screen. And it's doing a funky thing. If you're watching me on YouTube, my wild general gesticulations make my arms disappear. So this is a weird, freaky little thing going on here. It's very interesting. Maybe more interesting than the game that I'm going to be talking about. But for those of you who are watching on YouTube and you're like, what in the holy hell is going on there, John? Where is your right shoulder? It's there. Okay, yep, it just showed up. So that's what's happening there. It's that someone asked me if it was mold on the wall behind me. And I thought, rather than have that, which it's a very artistic kind of thing behind me, let me just do this. And even though it's not perfect, it's something. And that's how I can describe this game. It wasn't perfect. It was something. And the Celtics lost. And look, this one, surprising to me. I thought the Celtics would come out and just blast the Hawks and win by 50 and just say, okay, no problem. You guys thought that you were slick in that last game. You thought you were something. All right, we're going to do what we did the last time, and then we're going to add to it. No, and the Hawks playing a back-to-back, a weird schedule because they had the Blazers in, and they played the Blazers the game before, so they're in a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights. So shorthanded. Dejounte Murray was questionable coming into the game, and he just went off. And okay, look, 44 points on 44 shots is not efficient. That's not generally good basketball. If it takes you 44 shots to get to 44 points, that's not great. But he just kept coming and kept firing, and down the stretch, he hit a lot of the big shots. He scored all 11 of their points in overtime, and it was switch onto Porzingis, hit a shot. Switch onto Porzingis, hit a shot. Now, after the game, Joe Mazzulla said we did that on purpose. Like, we let Porzingis, we were switching 1 through 5 on purpose so we can get more film on that. And there are people who are like, well, I don't believe him. And I'll get into this a little bit later with the way they are looking at this, because I think it's important for us to get into, like, the Celtics are not, or maybe I'll just go out of order. I'll talk about it now. If you're watching on YouTube, I have a rundown over my left shoulder, which exists in the video for now. I'm just going to go out of order. I think the most important thing out of this game is not actually what cost them the game, which I will get into. It's the defense, it's the rebounding, all of that stuff. The actual most important element from this game is that the Celtics do not see the game like a lot of people do, a lot of fans do. So you might be sitting there thinking, like, why did Joe Mazzulla not adjust to Kristaps Porzingis getting burned over and over and over again by Dejounte Murray? Well, Joe said it after the game, like, we were switching 1 through 5. I want to see how that looks. And I hate to keep saying this because it really devalues these last few weeks of the season. And I don't want you to go away for 2 weeks, 3 weeks and say, oh, well, I'll just check back in with you when the regular season starts, because these games don't mean anything. However, these games don't mean anything. They mean something in the sense of, like, the Celtics need to work on stuff. They need to work on their execution. They need to work on their, certain lineups. They need to work some guys into the lineups and stuff like that. But this loss, kind of, who cares? It's a kind of who cares in the big picture, because it really doesn't matter that the Celtics lost. They have the East wrapped up. The only other game on the schedule was Milwaukee and New Orleans. And congratulations to the Pelicans. You won. The Bucks lost. It doesn't matter that the Bucks lost, because the Celtics have already locked up the East. So there's nothing, there was nothing in this on this day that meant anything to the Celtics as far as playoff positioning. They can still, if they still need some combination of 4 wins for them and losses for the top team in the West. And so if the Celtics win 4 more games along the way, they clinch the top overall seed. And one of those games is against OKC coming up. So the Celtics have a very easy chance. You win that game, win another game, another 2 games, and there you go. There's your magic number. So the Celtics, I think, approach this as like, yeah, this doesn't matter. You and I were looking at it like, what an opportunity for revenge. What an opportunity to get back, send the message to a potential first round opponent. Oh, you think coming back from 30, like, that means anything? We'll show you. But you know what? The Celtics don't even care about the "we'll show you." They don't. It doesn't matter. You care. I cared. I said I had that same mindset. They don't care. They're like, what message? What message do you think I need to send? Well, we know. They know. They know what happened in the first half, not even the whole first half on Monday night. They know. They know how good we are. They know how bad they are. And the Celtics, they didn't play any significant defense until much later in the game. So the Celtics, I think, look at this as a glorified practice. So Mazzulla said, yeah, we did this on purpose. We switched. We allowed that switch onto Dejounte Murray, Porzingis, so we could see what it looked like. And, we wanted to get some film on that. And I don't blame them. You want to see a win. I want to see a win. But also, I want to see them win a championship. And this could be valuable stuff. If the Celtics face the Bucks, let's say, in the conference finals, or if they face the New York Knicks, in the second round or whoever they face. But like, if Porzingis gets cross-matched, forget the switch, because you're going to say, let's say that they don't switch, but it's a transition thing, and Porzingis finds himself face-to-face with Damian Lillard or Jalen Brunson or whoever you can think of. They're looking at it as this game is preparation for that game. I'll get more into this in just a second. And what Jrue Holiday said in the locker room just highlights how much they don't care, how they're very willing to move on, and how it's just different than how we look at things. Today's show is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, patience. That's what brings home the winning trophy, and it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, from superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into power, speed, style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll find exactly what you're looking for in it with eBay Guaranteed Fit. Your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or your money back, because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On Sports today. Turn off ESPN. Turn off Fox Sports. Turn on Locked On Sports today. Shouting free, not fake arguments. It's real talk. You want real sports talk? Check it out on the 24/7 streaming YouTube channel, Locked On Sports Today, or on the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day. And you can catch Locked On Celtics on that 24/7 streaming channel every once in a while, because Celtics are big news, generally speaking. So the Celtics saw this game as a glorified practice. I've been talking about this a bunch. This is a joke I've made before. It's almost like a football preseason. Like you invite the other team, like the Patriots invite the Green Bay Packers in, and like, we're going to practice against each other. Except the Celtics are doing it on the road at the State Farm Center, and they're gonna bring 5,000 fans, because you know that arena wasn't full, and let's bring a TV crew and all of that stuff. But it's basically a practice. We're gonna play this, and however it goes, and we're not worried about it. And that's what it is. So when Mazzulla says, yeah, we switched 1 through 5 with Porzingis, so we can get some film on it. Look, I get it. I get why that would be the case, because there are going to be scenarios, and you kind of want this fresh. You kind of want to get some of that film and say, hey, here's what you did. And there were points there where they started to pre-switch, and I think guys were figuring this out on their own, where Porzingis' guy was starting to go up to set the pick for Dejounte Murray. And so as that guy was going past Jrue Holiday would switch before you get to that pick and roll, so he could switch on to Murray. And, the Hawks said, oh, okay, you're going to do that? Well, we'll just keep going until we get Porzingis onto Murray. But the Celtics were starting to figure this out. And it goes back to, why didn't Joe Mazzulla call a timeout when the Hawks were going on their big run on Monday? And it's like, this is the opportunity. This is the real chance to be like, you guys figure it out. Don't look at me. Look at the court. Figure it out. Be smart basketball players like you are. None of these guys is stupid. They're all very, very smart people in general and in basketball. This is a smart group of guys. Go out there and be smart. Be good basketball players. Figure it out. Doesn't matter if you lose this game. Let's try to figure it out. And they started to, and it's a back and forth, but these are going to be playoff type situations. And timeouts are not always going to be available when these situations come up. So it's up to them to figure it out. And if you can't, then hopefully these scenarios here in March against the Hawks, against a physical Hawks team, to them, this win is meaningful because they're trying to establish something. This game means something completely different to the Atlanta Hawks. So they play with a different force. They play with a different demeanor. They are trying at a different level. So yeah, they made things hard. Super credit to the Hawks for playing the way they did, for playing as hard as they did on a back-to-back. They easily could have been like, you know what? We're basically the 8th seed. It doesn't matter. We're gonna take this day off and roll over and die. And they didn't, not for a second. So the Celtics look at the staff, say, okay, guys, this is the opportunity. You want to play like this? You want to get into this situation? Let's roll with it. Let's see what you got. So for those of you who are listening, watching, and saying like, why aren't you worked up about this loss? It's a basketball game. You win, you lose. That's the goal. You're supposed to win, and if you don't win, why didn't you win? Because that's the goal of a game. Win or lose. It's one or the other. And I'm like, Celtics kind of can't lose right now. And I know a lot of fans live and die with these games. And this is frustrating because you get it in your head like, I did want to see them send them a message. I did want to see them go out and kind of pick up where they left off in the blowout and finish off the blowout. I wanted to see that. So we all get it in our heads like we want to see certain things. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. We're going to try to get out of this without any injuries. And we're going to try to like, oh, this is cool. This is a chance to figure something out. And you just move on. The funniest thing, that Holiday post game, he was asked, well, how do you move on from a game like this? And he kind of laughed. He was like, it felt like, and I don't want to put words into his mouth, but it really felt like he wanted to be like, what do you mean? Like, I've already moved on. he was like, you just, to paraphrase it, he's like, you just do. How do you move on, Drew Holiday? He's like, you go to the next game, the next city, give me a good meal and some good sleep. And that was it. And you can't be mad. You cannot be mad at Drew Holiday because this is a guy who's won a championship. He knows what it takes. And he knows the ups and downs. And he also knows that March, like, he's like, we're really good. So like, if you follow anybody's lead, follow Drew Holiday's lead. And after the game, he laughed at the question, not like blatantly outright like, ha ha ha, what kind of stupid question is that? But he kind of like had a smile on his face and he chuckled and he was like, you go to the next city, you go to the next game, that's how you move on. And he's right, that they play a different they're playing a different game right now. And they're basically talking a different language than we are. So if you're sitting there like, I can't believe they lost this game, they're like, yeah, anyway, Atlanta was fun. Let's get to New Orleans and, Friday night in New Orleans. Who knows what the hell Saturday is going to bring? I'm going to have a Friday night in New Orleans myself, and I'm not an NBA player. So who knows what the hell Saturday is going to bring? All I know is Friday night in New Orleans is going to be a fun time for everybody who is here in New Orleans on a Friday night. And I don't think it's going to be any different for the Celtics. And I'm sure they're going to want to be focused and they're going to want to play, when it comes to playing Zion and all that stuff, they're going to go and play that game. I couldn't even tell you what to expect for Saturday, but whatever Saturday brings, shrug. You can't see it on the YouTube page because this stupid virtual background won't even like register my shrug. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's these next few weeks. It's like Holiday said it on the Draymond Green podcast. He's like, this can be hard because you're just like, okay, we've done all this. Get me to the playoffs already. Now that's the next big thing. This here, like, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, sure. New Orleans. Yep. Okay. Back home. OKC. Great. The Knicks again. Well, whatever. Yeah, sure. Okay. We're good. We're good. They I don't know what to tell you. But we can get into this game and some of the things that they can pull out of this. We'll talk about that in just a second. Today's show brought to you by Nissan. Our good friends at Nissan have a great array of SUVs. And if you're the kind of driver that likes to push things a little further, they've got exactly what you need. Like the 2024 Nissan Rogue. It's perfect for city drives and great escapes. Class exclusive Google built in as your always updating assistant to call on for almost anything. Gone are the days of connecting your phone. Don't get tangled up with wires. Their Google Assistant, Google Maps, Google Play Store, it's all built right into the 12.3-inch HD touchscreen infotainment system. The 2024 Rogue is the perfect midsize crossover for your next adventure. There's also the 2024 Nissan Armada, which I just saw today walking out of my hotel in New Orleans. That thing is beautiful. You can see it'll change what you expect from a full-size SUV. Picture a rugged 4x4 that can seat up to 8 in first-class luxury and style. Tow bigger and explore further in the 2024 Armada. Take the Nissan Rogue, the Nissan Pathfinder, or the Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. Today's show also brought to you by Amazon Fire TV. The Amazon Fire TV is going to be your destination for sports, live game, live TV, all that stuff, in-game highlights, in-depth analysis. It's all there on Fire TV. It's in the built-in Fire TVs or on the Fire TV stick. You plug it into the TV that you already have. It turns it into a Fire TV. So go check it out, whether it's baseball's opening weekend, March Madness, the college tournament. You're going to want to have that Fire TV. And they've recently created the Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That includes us. We've been talking about it here on the Locked On Podcast Network. So go check it out. Fire TV channels lets you dive into all of the game analysis, live highlights, and more to keep you up to date on the latest of the world of sports. So it's also including news, entertainment, gaming, travel, cooking videos as well. So check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. To learn more, go to Amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. Thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA. We got rotating hosts all week long. Me and Jake Madison on Wednesdays. We're doing a bonus podcast for Friday into Saturday, by the way. So make sure you check that out. But check out Locked On NBA wherever you get your podcasts. So the Celtics, the Celtics lost this game because of their defense. They weren't great at the point of that. No, they sucked at the point of attack. They allowed a ton of drives. The drives had to draw help, and the help pulled people out of position, and that allowed for a ton of offensive rebounds. It's that simple. They drove to the basket. They got to the basket. People helped. There was no recovery behind it. And Atlanta swooped in for a bunch of offensive rebounds. And that's it. Effort. 100% effort. And that's where the Celtics lost this game. So the second chance points, it was 28 for the Hawks. Boston was outscored by, I want to say 24, I think, in second chance points. and that's, I mean, you want an effort stat there. There it is. The Celtics had a bunch of fast break points because they did actually end up playing some defense later on. But by that point, Dejounte Murray was kind of like on fire. And yeah, it took him 44 shots to get to 44 points, but he scored all 11 points in the overtime. Now, the late game execution is going to be another topic of discussion. And the Celtics got a crappy Jayson Tatum shot at, he got the ball with 6 seconds to go. I highlighted this on Boston Sports Journal, and, maybe I can share it on the YouTube feed. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, I can share the still here that I made for Boston Sports Journal. So with just about 4 seconds left, Tatum has the ball right at the logo, and he turns the corner, and he has, it looks like Bogdanovich kind of stepping into his path. And at that point, you know that you've got two on you. There's somebody that could be open, and Jaylen Brown actually ends up being kind of open there. So if he had made a quick pass to Jaylen Brown, it's 4 seconds left. So that pass would have gotten there with just about a little more than three, time for him to make some kind of move, a dribble. And with Holiday, when you make that pass to Jaylen Brown, who's on the left side above the break, if you make that pass, all of the heads are going to turn because the Hawks are not a good defensive team. That would allow Jrue Holiday to curl around to somewhere around the right elbow area. Derek White is down along the left sideline. He can turn and go to the baseline. There's enough time for Tatum to make this pass to Jaylen Brown, for Brown to make a quick pass to Holiday, and for Holiday to either drive and take a shot, drive and dish to a cutting Derek White, or drive and kick to Kristaps Porzingis in the corner. And because it's a tie game, any shot at any point will do. What ends up happening is, obviously, Tatum takes a contested, fading to his left three-pointer that misses badly. And it's like, can't you get a better shot? And this is the thing with Tatum. I want him to understand that passing in that situation is going to be what opens him up for the shots that he wants. Passing now, it's March. You have had these opportunities. You keep missing these opportunities. Play the long game, Jayson Tatum. Understand that if you have spent this entire regular season in these late game situations, what you want is to be like, oh, I'm the hero. I'm hitting this shot. I'm the best player. I'm supposed to hit this shot. Okay, yeah, I get it. But if you had spent this entire regular season in those situations passing, then teams would start to play the pass. And you could have spent this entire regular season making the pass, like the one I just highlighted to Jaylen Brown. There are plenty of passes to make. If you had made those passes all regular season and in postgame said, yeah, I'm being doubled, people are, they're making me give it up, or I see my teammates, I trust my teammates, I'm giving it up to them because I've got Jaylen Brown and Jrue Holiday and Derek White and all of them, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, who didn't play in this game. But if you'd spent all season saying, like, yeah, I trust those guys, I'm passing to those guys, then you know what would happen in the playoffs in these situations? They would play the pass. Teams would start playing the pass. And what would open up? Driving lanes, open shooting opportunities. Play the long game. Think the game through, not the game, but the whole big picture season through. And instead of these contested three-point shots, you'd be getting open looks by this time of the season or the playoffs. So I hated the last second shot. They did the right thing. They held to the end because it's a tie game. You don't want to give the other team any real opportunity to steal and get the other way. But there were opportunities to pass and give that up. And the Celtics could have made two, 3 passes in that last possession with 4 or 5 seconds to go and get a good shot without without risking a turnover, because they were all very easy passes to make. That's the one thing that I hang my hat on here out of these games, where nothing matters except for honing this late game execution. Now, the last point I'm going to make is in the overtime, when they were down 1, they actually got the ball to Kristaps Porzingis. He actually made a pass to Jaylen Brown, who hit a tough contested shot, but it's a mid-range shot that he hits in his sleep at this point. Tatum was just a cutter and more decoy than anything. And oh my God, the play worked. It got them a good shot, and Jaylen hit it. So the lesson, if I'm looking at lessons learned, if these 2 weeks coming up here, these 9 remaining games are about lessons, then learn the damn lesson. Passing and running a play where it's not just Jayson Tatum dribbling works. It works. Do more of that. This is the opportunity to learn these lessons. I don't care that they lost this game. If they lost this game, but land in New Orleans having watched some film and Tatum goes, damn it, man, the passing actually worked, and what I've been doing hasn't worked once this season. Let's try the passing thing a little bit more. Then the Celtics have won more than anything they could have won by winning this game and having more points on the scoreboard. But it has to happen. It has to happen. And that's the thing. That's the rub. Tatum, Joe Mazzulla, the Celtics, they just need to know that in those situations, it's okay to pass. And by passing, you have potentially opened up future driving lanes and future scoring opportunities in the clutch. All right, that's it. That's the extent of the Hawks beating the Celtics. Celtics' second loss in a row. It's their 3rd losing streak of the season. They have not had one that is extended to 3. Will it extend to 3 in New Orleans? I don't know. I'm going to be here. I'm here in New Orleans. I will be at the Smoothie King Center. I will podcast. I'm podcasting 14 days in a row, which means then I will be, if I'm podcasting Saturday, then I'm podcasting Sunday, which means I will be podcasting 19 days in a row. It's a lot of podcasts, which you would know was a lot of podcasts if you're subscribed. So make sure you are subscribed. I'll get you all the podcasting you want, all the podcasting you need. And I would love it if you tell everybody that they should also be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.